Hey guys, welcome back to The Collective. This is Stephen McManus with the Coastal Collective Group. The Collective is a podcast that we use to highlight local entrepreneurs, business owners, and just local professionals who have a lot of value to share with our followers. Today I have Joe Provost. He is a financial advisor. And so I just wanted to bring him on so he could let y'all know a little bit about what he does and how he could help you. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Awesome, Stephen. Thanks for having me on.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of background on him, and then we're going to hop into a few questions. And what I'd encourage you guys to do is after this episode, reach out to Joe, or if you want to learn a little bit more about what he does, reach out to me from a third-party perspective so that you can understand a little bit more about what my experience is with him and his firm. So today we have Joe Provost. Again, Joe is a Charleston local and dedicated financial advisor who's been helping individuals and families build strong financial foundations for the past 5 years or so. Growing up as the middle child, I relate to that, in a family of 7, Joe learned early on the value of balance, communication, and hard work, traits he brings to his clients every day. Outside of his work in finance, Joe is deeply involved in the Charleston community. He's passionate about giving back, having participated in a charity boxing event that we both fought in to raise funds for children battling cancer and for veterans in need. He also volunteers with Be a Mentor, an organization that connects mentors with local youth to help guide and empower the next generation. That's awesome. Joe's mission is simple: to help people make confident financial decisions and live with purpose. There's a trend here with people I have on the show about purpose, both in their finances and in their personal lives. Joe, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So let's get into it. I just want to learn a little bit about you, and I want my folks who are listening and yours to just know a little bit more about like the background behind the curtain of Joe Provost.
Sure. Yeah. I have a pretty interesting story. Like you said in the beginning, I grew up Charleston local, big family. Family is super important to me. Always spending time. I was actually just carving pumpkins last night with them,
Nice.
With my nieces and nephew. But yeah, grew up here in Charleston. Really didn't know what I wanted to do after high school. I always knew I was a hard worker from a very young age. I worked really hard, ran my own like lawnscaping business around the Charleston area, and made really good money doing that, mainly just because I worked really hard. Graduated from high school and then got straight into a trade. So I was an electrician out of Boeing for a really long time, helping build and develop their new buildings. And from there, I went to Bosch, Robert Bosch, I was studying mechatronics. So basically I was in an apprenticeship program studying mechatronics where I was working on robots.
I was about to ask you what that was.
Yeah, so
that's what that is, like
Yeah, basically robots? They're robotics for building products, and we were doing like diesel fuel injectors. But basically I was in charge of working on the robots that made those fuel injectors.
That's cool.
I learned very quickly that really wasn't what I was into. I found out from that I was really a people person, and I like connecting with people, learning their stories. So a big part of my story is my sobriety. So I actually ended up going to rehab when I worked at Bosch. I was just in a very bad spot mentally, hit my rock bottom, ended up going to rehab, did a 30-day rehab stint, and then ultimately been sober ever since getting out of that rehab stint. And from that, I learned a lot about myself and really going back to what I truly value in life, and really found that I like making deep connections with people, learning their stories. I got into hospitality right after that. And that just always fueled me. When new people would show up at the hotel, I'd get to hear where they were coming from and then just give them an awesome experience with Charleston. Like I knew Charleston very well. When people came to visit, I always wanted them to like remember Charleston, have this awesome experience. And it was really cool to give that to people. And so that kind of started it. And then ultimately COVID hit while I was working at the hotel, got laid off from there. Basically had a friend, a really good friend of mine who works in the industry at Northwestern Mutual as well, who basically reached out to me and was like, hey, I don't know if you're like interested in this, but like you should come on and see what this is all about. And so I interviewed with them and really had no idea about finances. If you look at my background, grew up in a middle-class family. We didn't really learn a whole lot about money growing up. Money was really never talked about. Middle-class family, we never really discussed money. I never went to college or anything to study finances or anything like that. And so I took the leap got into the industry. And the first year, there's many different ways you can go about financial planning and growing your own practice. For the whole entire first year, I got really good at one specific thing, and it was really calling on people and connecting with them and getting them into a meeting so that they could learn about finances and empower them with their money. But ultimately, it was not me in the first year running those meetings. I was meeting with my closest friends, family members, and I knew that I lacked knowledge in this industry, and I wanted them to be in front of an expert. So I would bring in a senior advisor who ultimately helped people through the process. And I got to sit in all those meetings and really learn from some really great people within our organization.
That's huge, man. That's huge, because like the people that take the approach, the professionals in the services fields that take the approach of education first and no pressure, and they know their gaps, their knowledge gaps, and they fill that with value. Like you bring in a senior financial advisor, it number one speaks to your integrity, your self-awareness, and your work ethic. And now I can say that Joe educates the very first thing that you did. I'm not a pressure guy at all in the real estate world, and everybody knows me for that. I do not pressure. I educate. I take the same exact approach because that's what I want. Don't sell me.
Yeah.
Like I know that I want something that you have or you can provide me, but teach me everything about it first. If there's a threat to you, then I don't trust you. It's a threat to me that you're pushing me very quickly in this direction. I clearly don't know what I'm doing. So I need you to educate me first. That's how I'll build trust with you. And my clients see that, and your clients see that because I'm one of them. Mm-hmm. So the no pressure and the education piece is huge for y'all listening. I didn't prompt him to say that. So that's good to hear, man.
Yeah.
That's good. And you're doing really well now and gaining a lot of success because of your work ethic and because of what you provide your clients. What are some of the barriers for people out there who know that they need a financial advisor but haven't taken that step yet? What can they expect? What are some misconceptions that they have?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about meeting with a financial advisor is people think that they need to have a lot of money, and you don't. And I believe if you work at a job and you make money, you should be having certain conversations with people. It may not be a financial advisor, but it may be somebody that's super close to you that you trust. And ultimately, I think you should work your way to meeting with somebody that's a financial advisor because they're in the industry day in and day out. They know what's going on. Yeah. People have their parents and stuff that they rely on for financial advice and may not have all the information needed to make an educated decisions. And finances change over time. What might have been good for them 20 years ago is not the same thing that might be good for you now today.
The market changes too. So it's not only your personal situation, it's the market.
Sure.
It's also your goals.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that could change. And you capture all of that in your system, which you've shown me already a few times, and it's very helpful. The big thing there is, yes, you can try to become efficient in managing your own retirement. You can also change out your sink on your own. You can also replace your roof on your own. Yeah, sure. You can do all those things. You will never do it as well as a professional, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know that because I was in the flipping business and had bought a few homes, personal homes, before I was a realtor. And after having a ton of experience as an agent, I was like, wow, I didn't really know what I was doing. I thought I did. I really did. I thought my agents were stupid.
Yeah.
And some of them were. And you know who you are. Okay. But really, though, there's so much in the background that you don't understand. And I want to call you out because Joe already talked about his sobriety. You all know me by now. I talk about some very vulnerable stuff. And I'll say I was not responsible with my finances. Went through a few life milestones that caused my bank accounts to dwindle down to nearly nothing. And I think I had a lot of ego and pride in myself, which I've identified pretty recently, that I could do it all and I'm in control of it all. At the end of the day, I can't. Yes, I'm a very strong, capable person with insane work ethic and discipline. I still can't do it all. So I will encourage you guys to look inward, try to be a little bit more self-aware. Do you have a spending problem? Do you not want accountability with that spending problem? Because you probably have that exact problem. And that's probably why you don't have a financial advisor. And so once you do that, you realize, okay, there might be a short period of time where maybe things are locked up a little bit.
Sure.
I'm not in prison, but I got to lock a few things up a little bit. And then actually what you're doing is you're creating an environment where you're going to have more to spend. You're going to create your spend account. Maybe you can speak on that a little bit. What are the first few things that happen when they contact you?
I can speak to my process of what I run my clients through. I think everybody's process is different in a way, especially if you're meeting with people in the industry specific, but firm to firm. But even once you're in the firm, people run meetings in different ways. And I think that was one of the cool things I did in that first year was I brought in financial advisors to run the meeting, saw people run the meetings in different ways and pull different things that I liked a lot, and now have come up with this process that I really love and I've gotten great feedback from people on. But typically when somebody first contacts me and we get together for a financial planning meeting, my main thing that I go through in the first meeting is really trying to get to know that person on a personal level, professional level, financial level. Hey, what's important to you, Stephen? What are you and your family working towards? My ultimate end goal is, hey, how can we get you to that goal that you have in the most efficient way possible?
How has that facilitated your success? Legitimately getting to know people first, not faking the funk. You know what I mean? Have you seen people do that where they're faking getting to know people?
Sure.
It's just like a check in the box to then move to the next stage of getting them to sign things and move money over and all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Fall back on that first year. There was financial advisors processes that I really liked, and there was other processes that I didn't find that it was genuine. And ultimately, these are clients that I plan on hopefully having all the way through in retirement, where I'm helping them distribute their assets and things like that.
Through a majority of their life.
Yeah.
And their kids, and get to know their families and know first names and know dogs' names.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, hey, if I get together or Christmas rolls around and I want to give a client gift to a client of mine, I want to know, hey, what is a small thing that's meaningful to them that they might really enjoy? So I think through that first meeting, I really get to know people on a deep level.
It's not just about building relationships. I guess there's three different types of people. There's, in any service industry, there's the folks that literally just build relationships, and that's all they do, and they're not getting shit done. Then there's the guy who skips all the relationship stuff and goes straight to business, which you're missing a massive piece because you're not really fully servicing them the way they need it because you don't really know them. You're following your own template and blueprint and process that's not geared specifically to them. And then there's you and me. And there's the people that genuinely get to know you and you become a part of their process. It's a custom process for you. I just wanted to make that distinction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's super important too, because people are making decisions that could drastically change the outcomes of their life. And depending on that first process that people go through with you can ultimately decide whether they're going to make that decision to go forward with something.
Based upon what they genuinely need, what they really need, because you're actively listening.
It's important.
In the phase of what you're talking about, which is the beginning of the relationship, getting to know them, their situation, their goals, their current balances.
Yes. Their financial situation.
And what's upcoming too. Like I told you the other day, there's something else happening and 6 to 12 months, expect this. How do we plan for that? That type of stuff. It's if you have things coming up like, hey, Joe, I might be selling my house in a year. He's got to know that. Anything that touches a dollar bill, not anything, go get ice cream and don't tell Joe, please. Book a vacation, don't tell Joe, unless you're booking a $20,000 month-long vacation in Italy.
I would like to make a point on that because I think it's a misconstrued thing within our industry is people view financial advisors maybe as, hey, we want to invest money and we want to pull money and save it for the long term. What really I find that my client base and my practice focuses on is really empowering you with your money to make those kinds of decisions.
100%.
Hey, I would love for you to go book that trip to Italy. I love to travel. That's a passion of mine. It's a passion for some of my other clients, and I have other clients that have passions about other things, and I want to empower you to be able to make those financial decisions and really take charge of your own
100%
destination.
Yeah. If you hire somebody like Joe or me, with all the humility in the world, I'm speaking right now, but genuinely, we care about you. There's been many times where, and I'm sure Joe as well, has been like, maybe hold off on that. Hold off on giving more money to this account. Go do that thing. Or this house is not right for you. As much as I want that commission, the house is just not right for you. I know you love me and you trust me and you would probably go buy that if I told you to. But look at that over there. It's not good. And I want to bring that to your attention. Or the market's doing some crazy stuff right now. As much as I'd want you to dump that commission check into this account, maybe you shouldn't. I don't know what you would suggest. And I'm just talking out of my ass right now. But it's really important that you understand that our bottom line does not come before yours. And I know it doesn't make much sense, but it brings us more business because we lead with integrity. So that should make sense. We get a lot more clientele that stick around for a lot longer of a time, and they recommend us to everybody they know. simply because we put your bottom line in front of ours. I have face-to-face conversations with my clients about my commission. Last night I had one. I'm like, if you do this, I get way more commission. And I'm like, I think they're both equally as good. This one actually might make more sense. This is the one where I get less. And guess what? They went with that one because it makes more sense for them. And I guarantee you, they're going to see my heart and they're going to recommend me to someone. So will I get that back? Of course I will. At the end of the day, it's cool that you talked about your sobriety and hitting rock bottom. People that I think have hit rock bottom, which I have probably too many times, really don't lead from a selfish standpoint anymore. They lead from purpose. And that's what you talked about earlier. And I think you're probably going to catch on to a trend with this podcast is that we talk about purpose more than we really talk about business because that's what drives our business.
Yeah.
Like I'd have nothing if it wasn't for purpose.
Yeah.
And we want people to see our hearts and how we operate. So a little bit of a tangent, but worth talking about. But getting back to your process, they meet with you, you get to know them. We had several sessions of just getting to know each other. And then from there, what happens?
Yeah. So once I grab, hey, personally, professionally, financially, what's important to you and your family? What goals are you working towards? I'm going to go through a snapshot of the balance sheet. So understanding assets, liabilities, income, budget sheet. So I have a clear picture of what's currently going on. And then what I'm going to do is show up to that next meeting and I'm going to have, hey, here's your current path projection. Thankfully, I work for a great firm who has some great software where we're able to put these analysis together and really show people, hey, here's what it looks like. Here's what you can expect. And you can spend X amount of dollars and you can live out your life till age 100. And we'll show you, hey, here's where you might run into some trouble. Here's where you might run out of money. And I'm also going to come with a recommended path that shows, hey, based off the goals that you told me, here's what it looks like projected out. Here's how we can get to these goals more efficiently and not have to worry.
Yeah. And just real quick is not everybody uses the same tool the same way. Just want you all to know that. Also, when he says a balance sheet snapshot, he's in this game all day. So let me translate. You pull up all of your 401k accounts, your savings accounts. He looks at your real estate assets, whatever, all of your your savings accounts. If you have a high yield, if you have a slush fund, if you have an emergency fund. So all of your accounts. So pull in. And you can give them you can log in and give them roundabout numbers at first. Again, it's all about building trust. I did the same thing. I'm like, I'm just going to let you know what I got. You're going to do your thing. I'm going to continue to build trust. And then eventually I gave them all my stuff. I just want to add that context because you're in the world all day. Sometimes I'm throwing acronyms out and people are like, what's that? Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Something that I think goes all the way back to my sobriety. Man, I was in a very dark place, bad place. My finances were not in good shape whatsoever. And I think one thing that I do through the process is I help people have a healthy relationship with their money. It does no good to have this bad thought process when they think about their own financial picture. And I don't want people humiliated about what they've done up to this point financially. Yeah. The changes come when you make changes, and ultimately speaking with a professional in that kind of realm can drastically help. And I don't want people to ever feel bad about the decisions they've made in the past. They may not be good ones, but ultimately it is what it is from that point. How can we move forward and best help you?
And financial anxiety is probably one of the worst anxieties out there.
Yeah.
Even if you're about to, you might be in a few months, I know I'm going to do something stupid. And even if I meet with Joe, I'm still going to do it. Hit him up. Be like, hey, I need help. I'm still going to do this thing. And he'll be like, all right, just do it. But let's work on not doing that in the future. Or even if you want to, we'll make a plan to where it works for you. Don't be like, let me kick the can down the road because I know I'm going to go buy that truck.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let him know. He's confident.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, one of the coolest things is getting together. One of the most rewarding things about this career is getting together with people in annual reviews, quarterly reviews, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And hearing from them that I've shifted their mindset on how they think about their own finances. And
heck yeah.
Yeah. It's just super rewarding.
And it plays into so many other parts of your life. Because if you're locking down your finances, you're being really responsible in your finances, you're making different decisions on everything you buy. And you're becoming more conservative with something that used to cause you a ton of stress, and that conservatism, if you will. I know it's a trigger word for you. Get over it. It plays into different parts of your life as well. You start seeing things stabilizing and more balanced. And then guess what happens to your nervous system? Peace, which is you can't buy peace. You got to earn it. You got to change your environment and change your choices. Okay. So what are some of the key financial habits that make the biggest difference over time for some of your clients?
Sure. I think this can be a pretty complex answer, but to simplify it, that might be the most rewarding thing somebody can do over the long run is really automate savings. Savings and investing, best thing to do is automate it. A kind of general rule of thumb is the 20-50-30 rule within finances. And when you think about this as a breakdown on your income, 20% should go towards saving and investing, 50% should go towards expenses, and 30% should go towards living life and having fun.
So 20% is going to freak people out.
Sure.
What if somebody comes to you and says, can I start with 3?
Correct.
Can I start with 4 or 5, whatever?
Yeah.
Is that still doable?
Yeah. Most of my clients do not start at that 20%. But I tell them like, hey, this is something that we over time are going to work towards and hopefully build up to so that we can be putting the correct amount towards saving, investing, retirement planning, all those different things. But basically what I find is when people start working towards savings, and they have an account dedicated towards, hey, I know I can spend X amount of dollars because I already contributed to my savings. So when people find that they have already set up and paid themselves or their future selves first, ultimately they can guilt-free spend the rest of the month.
Again, nervous system.
Guacamole on the Chipotle. Like, seriously, like though, it's when you're saving first and investing first, ultimately you get to guilt-free spend the rest of the month. And I think that helps out a lot of my clients and gives them a clear picture of, hey, what are we working towards? We may not be there, and most people aren't there when we first get together. But we know, hey, each time we're going to continue to keep chipping away and going towards it. So
that's killer. If somebody never reaches a 20%, are they a failure? Are they still saving and doing a really good job preparing for their retirement?
Yeah, they could be. I think it's all person to person. Everybody's financial plan is very personalized. And so I think what a very important part is with getting together with me, I'm going to run that analysis and it's going to show, hey, here's current picture of what you're currently doing. Here's what it looks like. And then based off of the percentage we're saving and investing in different areas, here's what it looks like. And math is math. It's not going to lie to us.
Yeah, which is scary sometimes and also amazing sometimes.
Sure. But it shows like over time, hey, here's how we can, if you max out, say, a Roth IRA every single year, here's what it can look like.
Or even just these minor adjustments can be like massive. When you're looking at, I don't know, 50 years or whatever it is, you're looking at 50, 60, 70 years.
Compounding
you look at like
interest.
It is. Inflation also kills you too. Oh man, today's dollars, $2050. Sure. Inflation, compound interest. There's some things working against you and some things working for you. Yeah. It's so cool to see that captured in that tool that you have.
Sure. And I think too, that's another reason why to meet with a professional in this space is the things that your parents did are not the same things that apply to you.
It's a different
finances.
World. Yeah, it's different.
It's totally different.
And they had different goals. Yeah.
And financial planning products that maybe they used back then don't work the same as they do today, or there's more efficient ones out there.
Yeah, very cool. What is something that folks who are just now looking into financial planning, what should they focus on or what can they look into right now?
One of the first things to do is ultimately look into your company benefits. So your company's going to offer you a benefits package and they're going to offer different things in there. And I think doing a deep dive, and even if you wanted to potentially bring this benefits package to me, I can take a look at it and I can say, hey, you should do this and this. I wouldn't sign up for this, but one of the first things you should always have is health insurance. Like people need health insurance. It's usually offered through your company. But I find though that it's wild. People sign up for a job. They meet with their HR department for maybe an hour and they give them an hour to sign up for all these different things that greatly impact your financial well-being 30 years down the line from now, where you have 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds that are walking into these jobs, signing up for, say, a 401k that's offered, and they don't really talk about the investment solutions in there, which ones they should be signing up that fits into their financial plan. And they sign up for, as a 20-year-old, all bonds that basically drags out for 30 years. All these decisions that you're making within this like hour time period to sign up for your health benefits and all the different benefits that are offered through work ultimately greatly impacts what your retirement looks like and what things you have available to you in the future, just based off of signing up for it in an hour time block where you really didn't get any education on it whatsoever.
The main thing you should look at doing is you have all these options. You have these bonds, you have 401k, you have matches, you have short-term disability, you have long-term disability, you have medical, dental, and some companies give you all kinds of crazy options as well.
Sure.
And you absolutely should be bringing your financial advisor into that. And I can tell you right now, again, coming from a type A, I can do everything myself guy, I would have changed literally everything I did for the companies I worked for if I had somebody who was guiding me through that. It's really important to do that. That's a great point, man.
Yeah.
People don't think of that, a financial advisor helping them with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think once again, people operate in different ways of how they run their practice, and going through that first initial meeting, that will be something that if you're not super clear on what your benefits offer, and even if you are, I'm still probably going to request your benefits package so I can understand what it is that you have available to you and what should you be taking advantage of that's sometimes free from your company and what they offer. And you should definitely be taking advantage of that first before doing anything outside.
Yeah. It's interesting too. You probably don't know this, but you can change a lot of your stuff. I'm sure you do if you're a seasoned corporate person. That there's open enrollment. There's all kinds of different times in the year that you can change the flow of your, like, what happens with your paycheck. So that's really important too. It's, oh man, I made all these horrible decisions based upon what I just heard Joe say. No, yes. Maybe not. Maybe you like did it perfectly.
Yeah.
But you also have the option or the opportunity to have Joe look at everything. And then during certain parts of the year when HR allows you to change stuff, you can do that. There's lots of opportunities there.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I encourage you to hit up Joe. So we'll have his information out there. I encourage you to hit him up. He doesn't bite. He does punch though. He is a boxer.
Not anymore. We hung him up. We're retired.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, Joe, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate all the nuggets of information you dropped today. And
thanks for having me on and allowing me to share.
Yeah, dude. I think we have a Zoom call in like 2 weeks to go over my stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Bro, thanks again, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate you.